everyone. Welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and welcome to 2 days before Christmas. So I don't know where the time went, but here we are. Looking this morning for, I know I have, well, I'm pretty sure I have a Christmas tablecloth. Can't seem to find that anywhere. I've searched high and low, so may just forego it this year. I've got lovely Christmas dinnerware that I got from wonderful mother-in-law, so we may use that without a tablecloth because I don't know where it is. So I have been doing a lot of reading. It seems like I went through quite a few books in the past couple of weeks. So we'll get started and I'll tell you about those and what I thought about them. Most are Christmassy, not all. So the first one was, though, it was done by Mary Higgins Clark and Carol Higgins Clark, her daughter. And this one's a bit of an older one. It's called The Christmas Thief. So if you've read, a decent amount of Mary Higgins Clark, you would know that there's a sleuth that she uses quite often called Elvira and her husband Willie, and they had won the lotto. And so they've, really kind of changed their lives a little bit. But they're very good people and they're very much trying to help other people. And one of their friends, Opal, also won the lotto, but she made the mistake of investing a lot of her money with a guy named, what was his name? Packy Noonan. And he convinced her to invest in these great things, but then he scammed her out of her money, her and a lot of other people. So he did get arrested, but they never found the money. So now it turns out that he's been a model citizen in prison. So now he's getting out, and so everyone's wondering, like, what did he do with the money? And this has to do with exactly what he did do with the money. So it's very cute. It's very campy, I guess. It's almost like he's kind of a bumbling fool, and so are the people that he works with, and the whole thing is kind of just fun and lighthearted, and I really enjoyed it. I would give it 5 out of 5. Now I do know that, and I had just read this or heard it not too long ago. I know Mary Higgins Clark had passed away quite some time ago. Apparently, her daughter has also passed away. So, such a shame. It's I guess there won't be any more books. I don't know if there's a granddaughter that has writing talent who wants to take over, but I did enjoy this, and I guess there's a lot more Christmas books that she's written over the years. So, I'll look for those next year. So the next one was by Jill Shalvis, and it's called "Wrapped Up in You." And this one was cute. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I knew it was a love story, but really didn't know too much else about it. So this one is about Ivy Snow, and Ivy. Things haven't worked out very well for her. She was brought up more or less with her brother, but often her brother would do things that she just ended up cleaning up his mess. So he got mixed up with the wrong people. She ended up, I think he burnt down their house, I think, or maybe someone was after him and burnt down their house. I don't know, but she had to escape quickly. But he's still her brother, and she keeps letting him back into her life. So, and he doesn't look like he's changed much. So she's not very good at relationships. She just doesn't really trust anybody. It's like her whole family dynamic was people letting her down. So when this guy comes along, she is kind of looking at him as though, yeah, he's great. He seems to care. He seems to be all the things I want, but can I trust him? And then to top it off, I guess he's some sort of a police officer, like a sheriff or something, and she's not very trusting of police officers either because of her past. So it's the two of them getting to know each other and what happens between them, and it's really well done. Um, the Christmassy feels. Now that I don't really feel as though I got a lot of Christmas out of it. I mean, I know on the cover she's in like a Santa hat and it's wintry, but I remember more about the story than I do there being any kind of Christmas atmosphere. Um, so in that way, it's, it kind of dropped the ball a little bit for me, but the story was really good. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So excuse me while I flip some pages here with my notes. The next one was another Christmassy one, kind of a Christmassy witchy one, I guess, because it's called Cocoa Curses by Aaron Johnson. And it's about Rudy Hollybrook. So she lives in Holiday Haven, which is located near Santa's workshop at the North Pole. So she has a different kind of life because she doesn't really fit in, or she feels she doesn't fit in this holiday town because she's actually an undertaker. Her and her sisters run the local funeral home. And then on top of it, they're witches and can do certain things. And Holly's thing is that she can see spirits and talk to them. So when someone ends up getting killed, they end up, the ghost of them ends up coming to her and tasking her to find their killer. So she's trying to do that, and she's, she takes different like obituaries and things to the paper, and one of the reporters there, she's really enamored with and wants to spend more time with him, and he seems to want to spend more time with her. So together they kind of start to solve this crime. So I thought it was really good. I actually really liked the fact that she was an undertaker. I've never read any kind of a cozy paranormal or a cozy mystery that had someone with that job. And I mean, okay, it's fantasized because I mean they're witches, and they'll bring a body and then float it into the funeral home. But still, I really enjoyed that. It was just something different. So it doesn't sound Christmassy, but it was, there was lots of things about the season, and they had a holiday market and all of these sort of things. So it was lovely that way. And with the type of job that she does and that her sisters do, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5. So that was a good one. And then the next one was by Donna Andrews, and it's Owl Be Home for Christmas. So I listened to this as an audiobook and kind of wished I hadn't. I think I felt more like I would have gotten more out of it if I had actually read it. Sometimes I don't feel that way. Sometimes the audiobook's great, and you feel like it's just as good as reading the physical or digital copy. This one, I thought the audiobook wasn't as good as I would have liked, but still good. So the story was good. It's still about Meg Lanslow, and her grandfather is hosting a conference about owls. And so she goes to help him out, and everyone in the place ends up getting snowed in. There's a big blizzard. It's just before Christmas, and all of these ornithologists are there having this conference, and they're very, I guess, very stereotypical ornithologists, maybe. I mean, very geeky, very, like they know everything about owls or think they do, and a lot of things about rodents and different animals, but they're not very good at interacting with each other. And so there's a lot of controversy and a lot of arguments going on, all while they're in the middle of this blizzard and can't get away from each other. And so in the midst of all that, somebody ends up getting killed, and it's up to Meg, with a little help from her grandfather, to try to figure all this out. So I mean, Donna Andrews is excellent. She's always so fun. And so with this one, in spite of the audio, I'm still going to give it 5 out of 5 because, like I said, I don't believe it was the book. I believe it was the audio. So we're going to give it 5 out of 5. And the next one, Wonderful Husband and I started. We did not finish. It was a DNF, and I had such high hopes for this book, but I just sometimes I think when they start a book and you know that there's like a pivotal moment in it, you're just always waiting for that pivotal moment, and up to that they need to give you something else, like something interesting. And I didn't find this one did. So it was The Lindbergh Nanny, and it's by Mariah Fredericks. Now, you may love it. I just didn't care for it. I thought, like, we read a fair bit of it, but I found it boring. It was all about the nanny, which is great, and a little bit about, the dynamics in that family, which I don't know, because it's historical fiction, you don't know how much is true. But if it was true and the dynamics were like that, then it was pretty messed up. But anyway, so much of it was of what we read, was leading up to the kidnapping. And it got to the point where I really just didn't care. It just was not holding my attention. I wasn't looking forward to reading it, so we DNF'd it. So hopefully if you read that one, you have better luck with it. So this one I'm going to leave to the end. So the next one we read was also a DNF. I had a few DNFs this month, to be honest. So I tried to read Barbara Allen's Antiques Ho Ho Homicides, which was another Christmas book. I didn't last long in that one, and it's because of the way it was written. I'm trying to think if I've read anything else by Barbara Allen. I'm not sure if I have, so I don't know if this was written this way specifically for this book or if she always writes this way. And I didn't even know what it was called. Wonderful Husband tells me it's called The Fourth Perspective. So instead of it being the characters talking to each other, we would have some of that. The characters would interact with each other, but then they would take us out of the story and it would be one of the characters talking to, like, the editor, or talking to us about the editor, or something like this. And it's like, um, so it just took me out of the story too much. I didn't care for that. And I tried to get past it. I really did, because I think maybe the story would have been good, but I just couldn't get past that part of it. So I DNF that one as well. So, one I read was Lisa Kleypas, who I have to say, I think this is the first book of hers I've read. I know she's really popular, but I don't know. Somehow I think this was my first venture into her world. So this one was about it's called Christmas Eve at Friday Harbor, and it was about this man Mark, who he and his brothers have just lost their sister. She was killed, I think, in a car accident, not sure. And she leaves behind a daughter. So she tasks one of her brothers with raising her daughter. And I mean, he's going to do it. It's his sister, it's his niece. But he has no idea. He's single. He doesn't really know that much about kids. He's, kind of flying blind. And then with his two brothers, he convinces one brother to let him and the girl move in with him, and they can, because he has a large house, they can fix that house up, and kind of he'll be in charge of raising her, he says, but he needs this good place for her. So the brother agrees. The other brother is, dealing with his own stuff, but, he'll help when he can, kind of thing. And so that's how it starts out. And Mark ends up meeting a woman in town called, what is she called? Okay, apparently I didn't say what she's called, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But he meets her at this toy store, and she really connects with the little girl Holly, and so he starts looking at her a bit and thinking, like, oh, okay, like, she seems like a really good person, and she has a little bit of advice for him on, certain parts of being a parent that he's never really thought about. And so the more he sees her, the more he wants to see her. So it was really good. It was very much um, kind of, I would say, found family, but I mean, part of them are already family, but it's uh, really that coming together of friendship and love, and um, everything that that you like to see in a Christmas book. They were very much there's some comedy in it. It's kind of got everything. And I have to say she did a really good job of the characters. They felt very well rounded. I didn't feel like they were just kind of rushed. Now, what I did find is I thought it ended too quickly. I really could have gone far further with it, and it didn't give me that. But that's okay. I mean, that's a personal preference maybe. So with this one, I would give it 4 out of 5. So really enjoyed that one as well. And then we're back to one that I DNF'd. So it's been a week. So this one, again, really thought I would love it, just didn't. And it was, I was listening to this on an audiobook as well. But that's neither here nor there. It wasn't what ruined it for me, I guess. So this one, again, I really wanted to like. It was a nonfiction called "The War We Won Apart," and it starts out with a woman on a British woman named Sonia and a French Canadian soldier named Guy, and they were from different worlds, and then they started to some of the things they did as training, they started to kind of fall in love, and it was very much their story. And it was in some parts, in a way, kind of fascinating, like parachuting into enemy territory and all these different things. But I really couldn't get into it, which is odd for me because I really do like stories about, World War II, and particularly from the Canadian side of things, of course. And I thought it would be, I thought it'd be much more interesting than it was. I tried. I think I was probably 80% when I finally DNF'd it. I just couldn't seem to get involved with their lives, and I don't know if it was the storytelling. um I don't know, I found it at times boring, at times confusing. I just, yeah, couldn't seem to get through it. So that one I DNF'd as well. So again, that doesn't mean these are bad books, it just means they weren't for me. Maybe they would be for you. So the next one, not a Christmas story, but it was very sweet and unexpected because I didn't really even expect to read this one. I don't even know how I got it. It just kind of popped up, and it was like, yeah, okay. So this one was called "If Cats Disappeared from the World," and I'm not going to try to say the author. Well, I will try to say the author's name, but if I butcher it, I do apologize. It was Genki Kawamura, a Japanese author, and it was good. It was quirky. So it starts out, this man finds out he's not doing well, like he's just having a lot of headaches and a lot of things going on. So he goes to the doctor. He thinks it'll be a very simple something, and the doctor will fix him up and he'll be on his way. But it turns out that's not what happens. He actually has a brain tumor, and the doctor doesn't give him long to live. So that's a heck of a thing to find out. And so he kind of stumbles out of the doctor's office, and he's just shocked. And even more shocked when he gets home and the devil appears to him and offers him a deal. And the devil, looks like whatever you think the devil looks like, I guess. And so his devil looks just like him, only a much worse dresser. He wears Hawaiian shirts, and he's kind of sassy, and so so kind of strange. But he makes this deal with the devil, and then he has to live with what the devil wants in exchange. So it was, like I said, very quirky. If you've ever watched anime, it kind of reminded me of Death Note. Death Note has a character in it. It's been a while since I watched it, so I can't remember what kind of character he was. Yeah, that part's gone. But anyway, he's kind of devil-like, and always was always kind of whispering in this guy's ear, and doing things, and this is kind of what this devil is like. He's constantly kind of in the guy's face, and it's uh, an interesting story when it comes to how the man deals with, what's going to be his demise and with what the devil wants from him and whether he wants to give it. And if he doesn't, like he's torn between being selfless and selfish, and do you leave something that the world loves and you care about other people, or do you care more about yourself and getting another day on earth? So fascinating, really. Not like anything I've read before. So that one I would give 4 out of 5 as well. Um, really outside the box, really interesting. I would be kind of interested too if the person has written any other books to see what they're like, and whether they're just as kind of outside the box. So yeah, very good. Now the other one that I read, I'm actually, not to spoil it, but I'm actually not going to uh, talk about it yet because it's actually one I'm doing for a book club. And I will give you the name of it. It's called Snowflower and the Secret Fan. And I will review it, but I want to wait until after we talk about it in book club. And then I'll come back and review it because I don't want to spoil anything beforehand. So that one is coming, but probably not until sometime in January. So that was my reading for the last week and a half. So um, you know, altogether, a few DNFs, but also some great books. So that's you can't ask for more than that, right? So this is it for today. So I won't be back until after the holidays. Not too long after, probably just after Christmas, 26th, 27th, somewhere around there. But going to spend the next couple of days, finishing getting ready and, uh, spend time with family and looking forward to it. So that is what's going on here. And I hope that you are ready. I hope you can find your tablecloth. I hope you can find whatever else you need. And I hope everything goes well. Have a great day, friends. Bye bye.